Hey everybody, it's Don Music here. For those of you that don't know me, because this is a band I haven't actually done anything directly with on my channel yet, I am a professional musician. I've been doing this a fairly long time. Um, I play professionally. I have a couple degrees in music and classical. I played in rock groups, metal, um, funk, lots of different types of bands over the years. A lot of prog. Cover bands, everything. Original acts. I'm violinist, professional classical violinist. I play in orchestras. I compose. I'm a recording engineer. So, I'm a musician. Like most musicians who've done this a long time, we do lots of different things. I've done live sound. I don't love doing live sound other than the fact that you get to go to these concerts. But this is Rush in 2026, which is something that was never supposed to happen, simply due to the fact that a third of the band died. So Neil Peart, certainly a drum god, considered by some to be the world's greatest drummer for a while. Um, Certainly one of the world's greatest drummers, and that's undeniable. Back when he was around, and he was an incredible drummer, incredible person, super creative person, a real perfectionist. Um, he analyzed and studied everything he did on the instrument. He pushed the boundaries of what he could do and what the instrument would do, and particularly in a rock group, right? I mean, yes, it was prog rock, but it was a rock group. So prog rock, of course, being like crazy time signatures and lots of complexity and intertwined stuff, and generally very, very intellectual, super complex music. It's part of what prog is. Gave him the freedom to do that. However, when Rush started, they were not a prog group. They were a much more like a early Led Zeppelin style influenced group. Their first album had a different drummer before Neil Peart joined. John Rutsey, he was a really good drummer, but he had a lot of health issues, sadly. And when the band started getting somewhere after they recorded their first album, and they were doing lots of shows around Eastern Canada mostly, which is where they're from. They had opportunities to start to tour and go to the States and stuff like this, and I believe the consensus was that John would not be well enough to do that reliably, and his health started to become a real problem for him, I think, and he wanted to do it, and he could have done it. He was a good drummer, and apparently a really nice guy and good guy, and tried really hard to keep up with the health. So it's sad he couldn't. So they ended up having to replace him. But replace him they did, and they made an effort to find the single greatest drummer they could find, since they had to replace John Rutsey. And that they succeeded in doing. They found a very young, very scrawny guy named Neil, and he was brilliant, and he just got more and more brilliant. So that's the one that everyone thinks of as the drummer from Rush. He was with them for decades, all of their career except the first album. He played live with them, some of their songs from the first album sometimes, but some of the songs from the first album never got played live by the band after John Rutsey was no longer the drummer, and therefore there are no pro recordings often of these early songs other than the studio album. So we have a new drummer now, Anika Nilles, I believe her name is. She's a German drum genius. She's legendary, super successful, but she is a really astoundingly great drummer in lots of styles. Very prog, very fusion, I would say, and tons of chops, tons of training. Clearly a very versatile, extremely skilled and trained and experienced musician. She's a lot younger than the two remaining members of Rush. So it's actually pretty amazing that they opted to start the band up again. But I guess they just really wanted to do that. At least one of them really wanted to, and the other one was willing to all the way along. But one of them suddenly decided, you know what? Yeah, I really want to start doing this again. I think, and the other guy was going in for it. I don't remember if it was Geddy or Alex. Alex is the guitarist. Geddy is the bassist and / lead singer. Neil was the poet who wrote almost all of their lyrics, other than the first album. And yeah, so this is going to be cool. This is the debut concert that I'm aware of publicly of Rush with their new drummer, Anika Nilles, at least for their tour. I don't know if they're going to actually record it or anything, but they're playing a song from the first album. I can't remember what it's called. I heard the first few notes of it. I remember it. I learned it as a teenage boy learning guitar. I was all about Alex's guitar playing back then. I mean, I still am. He's a brilliant guitarist. Geddy was a perfectly good bassist back then, but he wasn't doing anything super impressive yet. He was much more impressive as a singer on the first album, I thought. His singing in the first album was fantastic. He was putting on kind of an American rock and roll type accent and style to his singing, which was very, very cool. He dropped it after the first album, as far as I can recall. And I always actually preferred his singing on the first album to some of the stuff for the next few albums. Because I like that American sound. I like putting on fake accents when you sing. We're just Canadians, and we don't sound like that, so it's kind of fun to do that. But regardless, their songwriting progressed and changed and improved dramatically with Neil and went further and further because when they realized what he could do and he realized what they could do, and they're all pushing each other constantly. And the original outright star of the band as far as playing, who was Alex Lifeson on guitar, was rapidly caught up to by Geddy on bass, who turned out to be one of the world's greatest bassists. He pushed himself, even though he has a really bizarre finger technique on his right hand. Not even the greatest technique in his left hand either, but it works perfectly for him. And Neil Peart, who was a monster drummer and became more and more monstrous as he went along, and loved complex time signatures and perfecting time and still having feel in his playing. Anika's going to sit in. Well, not sit in. She's the drummer for the band currently. And they're going to do a song from the first album. We're going to hear it live right now. I grabbed this screenshot as I dragged through it without listening to see the Rush thing with Anika's head here. Here. Anika's head here. It's blonde. A younger blonde woman. It's kind of weird to see, right, with this. Alex Lifeson, Geddy Lee here, facing Anika. And they also have a keyboardist touring with them, which means that Alex and Geddy don't have to play like 5 instruments at once each, which is what they used to do. You know, like a double-necked instrument as well as foot pedals and often a keyboard on the stage as well, or 2. So kind of nice. And also the drummer would like tap things and sample things and all this stuff. So nice that it's just 4 people, I shouldn't say guys, 4 musicians playing live together, doing this stuff in real time. Let's see how this works out. Rush. This is on CBC, which is the Canadian, naturally, Canadian national TV and radio, and the Juno Awards, which is Canadian, I believe. Here we go. Finding My Way? Is that the name of the song? Oh, Finding My Way. Finding My Way. I remembered the name all by myself, or I subconsciously saw it and then it came to me. Anyway, here we go. I should mention, hearing Geddy sing there, he pulled it off. Didn't think he was gonna. The first album, he sang extremely high. He had a really high voice. It was amazing. And it was really high up. And I didn't dream for a minute that he'd be able to sing it up in that range. So we'll see what happens, because he pulled that off. I didn't think it was going to sound like it was going to hit it, but he hit it. So good for him. And he nailed it in tune and sounded good. Because I did watch them in the last 3 or 4 years of their career with Neil, and he was struggling to hit the high notes. He would often drop parts down. So, but then he hasn't been a lead singer on tour much since that time. He's been playing like crazy and doing projects, but not doing Rush stuff, so not pushing his voice. Maybe his voice has healed, or he's solved some things with it. Let's see what happens here. Nice leg kick by Geddy. Oh, already Geddy's bass part is different from how he did originally. He's doing like cool with his right hand there. Already he's playing like Geddy now, not Getty back in the 1970s. That's cool. Like on the first album. Oh, I also want to point out, Alex is playing a Les Paul. Yeah, I haven't seen him play an old school Gibson for years and years and years and years and years. He used to play hollow bodies a lot, which was my favorite tone, and his playing, absolutely my favorite when he played like ES 330, whatever's they are that he used to play. Semi-hollows. And that was the tone and the playing that made everyone fall in love with his playing. But great to see him playing a Les Paul, which is ironically a heavier guitar. I wonder why he's playing that instead of a hollow body, but whatever. Who said I'm coming out to get you? Who said I'm coming out to find you? Sounds good. I'm just going to back that up. I just want to point out Getty's playing a Fender Jazz Bass. That's very cool. That's I wish he was playing a Rick. That would have been really authentic. But can't blame him for playing Fender Jazz, which is also a fantastic bass and one of his two most famous signature sounds. Let's hear that again. Who said I'm coming out to get you? Who said I'm coming out to find you? Nice. Oh yeah, his bass playing here, boom, bop. He's popping, but he doesn't pop the way most bass players do by like pulling it away, going pop. As a bassist myself, I mean he can, but he normally pops by just hitting it in this sharp angle that pulls it into the fret and then lets it go. So it's kind of a similar effect, but the opposite direction, but it sounds similar. It's a great sound he has. I love the bass playing. And the drumming sounds like frickin' John Rutsey back in the day. Awesome. Nice. Ooh, great shot of the drums here. Funky drum set. What's with crazy, inconsistent drum heads? Interesting choices. Wow, I'm really fascinated. I'd love to know more about this. Are those rototoms on the left, or are they just a bunch of... they look like small suspended toms, I think. Gradually getting larger to one that has the different head. Interesting. I know all these brands. I'm just trying to figure out... I guess from a playing and tuning perspective is what she wanted to do. She certainly knows how to do that stuff better than I do. I love the zigzag thing going on those drums. Is that real or is that a reflection? That's real. Crazy. And what's with this? The first floor tom? What's with that pattern on it? Cool. This is really interesting. She's got a lot of interesting drums on the stage here. Oh, look at the down the bottom left there with the cowbell. She's got a cowbell, and then she's got the tick 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 tick. I forget what they're called right now. Percussion things with they're like pitched cowbells, but a higher up one. That's a classic thing that Neil used to use all the time too. This is really interesting. She's got some sort of an ozone type. It's like an ozone china up in the top right there. I'm not sure which one that's called offhand. And then in front of her head, it's I think that's a crash with the coated edge. I don't think it's inverted from here. Could be inverted though. It could be also China style. Really cool. Oh, and then there's something on the right that looked almost like a China, but very subtly. So it's like a crash with a little bit of the China edge to it. Anyway, go on. Lower harmonic, lower octave in the vocal there, doubling it. Maybe that's the keyboard player singing some Bee Gees. Yeah, I gotta back this up. Nice, they showed Neil playing and Rush in the old days. Nice. She looks like she's having a time for her life. And they all look like they're having a lot of fun. Alex is smiling. Getty sounds great on the vocals. I mean, I'm really happy to hear that. That was my biggest concern. Not Anika. I knew she could play. But it's great to hear her playing, like just rocking out. This is like rock and roll Rush. old school rock and roll Rush. Nothing super like complicated from a songwriting point of view, but lots of famous stuff you have to do in here. Lots of famous licks that John Rutsey did and then Neil did on tour. Great to hear this. It looks like she's actually taking it up to the Neil level of the fills and the dynamic control. John Rutsey did that stuff too, but wasn't the drummer of his successor and now successors with Anika. But he was, kudos to John Rutsey. Oh, sorry, I gotta see the drum. Okay, so that one that I thought was a fourth tom with a different head looks more like, what is that, like a timbale? It's quite a short body on it, shallow, or is it a piccolo snare? Or is it just a different tune, different style of tom? That's fascinating. It's really shallow. It looks like it doesn't have a bottom head, I'm assuming, looking at it. And it looks like it might have a snare control on the side. So maybe it's, I don't know what that is. Fascinating. That one with the black head that we can see in the middle. Cool. And I can see her cymbals better. So the one in front of her face is not China at all, but it is the coated, which is why I wondered, coated on the top and then polished. And I forgot the material it's made of. But it's the stuff that's coated on the bell and stuff like that. It's all different, and the way it's hammered as well in the middle. Very cool. And there's an ozone down the bottom right. Okay, that's a traditional ozone. Then up high, I thought I saw one that was like an ozone, but with the China side to it. Very, very cool stuff. But of course, as she should for this song, traditional crash and traditional ride with a lot of ride bell. Interesting that the video in the background isn't synced to the song at this point. That's bass soloing going on in the video, but clearly it's a guitar rhythm part that we know here, the intro. So they didn't try to sync up. I wonder if they're just playing without click then. That's very cool if so. I know that might sound strange, but I'm just happy to hear them just in a situation where they can just play and not have to follow the click to the video to make sure that it's synced perfectly, because they should just have some fun when they have the opportunity to do so. It's great if they can just rock out. Nice. I'm coming back to the farm. She's having the time of her life. Nice fill. Her tone on the toms and the snare is incredible, especially on the toms. To me, that's a sign of a skill level immediately of the drummer's technique and technical skill and the weight of the natural relaxed weight that they use when they're playing, as opposed to forced stiffness and stuff like this. That tom tone, and also of course accuracy and pitch of the tip of the stick. But man, the tone of the toms that she's getting acoustically, picked up by the mics, outstanding. And her attack on the snare is unreal. She hits hard. And she hits hard with her snare, no matter which hand she's using. But while she's playing the ride there, she's total control over the volume and dynamic of the ride cymbal, which isn't obsessively large at all. Yeah, extra heavy at all. Let's say that. Obsessively large. Extra heavy, playing right into that. It's controlled, beautiful, great tone, perfect location on the stick on the cymbal for that consistency. While she's just wailing on the snare with her other hand. That sounds exactly like it did when she was playing other parts of the kit. So again, perfect independence. I know it's just 4/4, but what a great example of great drumming. You can tell when it's a great drummer, even if they're playing basic stuff, which this isn't, but certainly basic compared to what she can do. Cowbell. Nice. Vocals are great, man. Yeah. Nice. Nice. Yes. Yes. Take it, Alex. Nice. Oh. Nice. Oh. Oh, man. Getty's doing those vocal parts. This is exciting for me. Never seen this song live, ever. And this version is incredible. And it's such a great recording, too. Oh, man. That solo was outstanding. Like, he's got the chops. Obviously, I knew he still had the chops. But the Les Paul cuts through more than, like, a lot of the, LTD ESP type things that he used to play a lot in the later days, which I never loved the sound of when he played them. Sorry, Alex. But in this band, you need to have a guitar that has a lot of mid-forward sound to cut through for the solos. The Les Paul does it. This is very cool. And I love his pinch harmonics, and they cut through beautifully at the end, even though he's not got a ton of overdrive. It's mild. It's just, that's right-hand technique. That's skill. I can do pinch harmonics on a guitar like Madman, but I need a lot of overdrive to pull it off. He doesn't. That's really almost a clean tone he's using on his Les Paul. It's like just mild overdrive. Mild. Man. And then he just goes clean here. Let's hear that again. Getty. Damn. I love the vocal. He's doing the harmony with him. With the Hammond organ. Sort of. Yeah. Oh my God. Holy moly. Turn the lights back on so people can see them. Oh, stupid. Stupid stagehands. That was awesome. Where is that? That. Right there. That is awesome. That was so cool. That was so cool. Oh yeah, you can see the drum from this side. So it is like timbale style. Okay, with the back mic'd. I wish I could have seen that earlier, or I bothered to look. Makes more sense now. And there's a giant freaking kick drum over on the right side mounted. I can't imagine she uses all this stuff for this one song, but it's interesting. They set up the whole Rush setup for this one song. And the keyboard player's got like 4 keyboards and vocals. And I think he played like maybe one Hammond organ type thing for a tiny speck of the song and did a couple of harmony vocals. So they're just taking their touring set and touring gig setup and going for it. So I guess they're comfortable with it. That's smart. I'm staring at my screen. That's why I'm if you're wondering where I'm looking. Anyway, yeah. Ooh, I love that. I am one of the biggest old school Rush fans you'll ever meet. I've played in Rush cover bands. I've done lots of stuff. Not just on bass, interestingly. Even on drums one time. You play whatever you need to do, whatever people need. But, yeah, this is just one of the most cool, exciting days of my life to see this. I'm so glad you got to watch this with me. I thank you for taking your time to watch this with me. If you're a huge Rush fan, I hope you enjoyed this. If you're a fan of other bands that I fans of with you, such as The Warning, other bands like that, Freeze the Fall, I think you'll appreciate this. If it's Freeze the Fall, you're going to appreciate one of the greatest Canadian bands in history reuniting, and one of the most influential bands in history. And if you're a fan of The Warning, then you'll certainly respect this, since they're a power trio, and Pow got to play on Neil Peart's kit, although she was extremely gentle and kind and didn't want to damage it or do anything to it. But at least she got the aura of it when she got to check it out for real. And of course, has been into and studied Neil's playing in the past when she was young. And being a power trio, again, it makes total sense, right? So, awesome. I want to see what they do next. I can't wait to see. I hope there's more pro shop footage of Rush with Anika doing other songs from theirs in the future that I can check out, because I will definitely be checking it out on this channel. Getty. Neil. It makes me cry when I think about Neil. Getty's bass playing in this was outstanding. He's doing a lot of like stuff with his right hand, as opposed to just digging in. But you can see his crazy playing style. It's like, what the hey? It's not right, but it's right for him, and it's right for anyone who copies him and wants to sound like him, and it feels good for them. For most of it, it's like a very uncomfortable position and restricts what you can do. For him, it's how he's made or how he's learned for his whole life, and he would be ridiculous to change it. It's obviously not affected his health badly, and he plays that way better than anyone else in the world, and arguably plays better than anyone else in the world for aggressive prog rock bass playing. And his tone is incredible for what it is. So yeah, for the style that it is. I think that was awesome. All right, like, subscribe. Not much to say since I know the song. I think it's pretty obvious what the song is. When we get to more complex stuff, I might be analyzing it a little more thoroughly in the future, because I know all the Rush stuff really well, at least for the first like several albums. None of it's going to be new to me, so I can't react to the song, but I can react to the performance. All right, right on. Thanks for stopping by. Please comment. Always appreciate donations. Thank you. And I'm just here to celebrate Canadian music in this video. All right, cool, and legendary music. Rock on, guys. Where's that stop recording button?